Hired Gun, the movie on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, check it out. This is well, you tell the story about what this movie is, because you're in it and you kill it in there, Kenny. It's amazing.
Well, it's supposed to be about the hired gun, the people that are hired to play in big bands and do sessions. Um, Seemed like it focused a little bit more on the live thing, but I'm supposed to start a documentary this year which will talk about the session thing a lot heavier. It won't be, but anyway, the point is, it's about people that are hired, the best musicians hired to play with artists, and Alice Cooper's interviewed and talks about it. Billy Joel talks about it. Rob Zombie talks about it in the movie. And there were a lot of stories. The movie, I went with the CEO of Kodak Film, and he sees documentaries all the time. He's made documentaries. He was impressed with the flow and the way the documentary was done. There's some sad stories. There were some funny stories. And as a piece, it was done really, really well. It'd be very enlightening to see what really goes on in these situations, you know, on the road and in the studio. But that's it. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, you did an amazing job on it. And, you know, what's the best thing about being a hired gun? What's the most challenging thing about being a hired gun?
Well, the best thing about being a hired gun is that there's so much variety when you work with different people. I love that. I love the variety. You never get bored with who you're working with because you're constantly changing it. You're grateful to come back to the people you worked with. It creates a very positive environment. The downside is sometimes it's like, you know, there is like you're in and you're out. You know, you might want to stay longer. You want to be in the situation longer, you know, but it's not what's called for. You know, they need you for one day and that's it.
Is it okay to ask around, because, you know, the first time that I saw you was live last year at the NAMM show, and that was the sessions.org panel, and that's all about the business of music.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit about how do you take care of yourself business-wise as a session player, as a hired gun?
Well, I mean, you got to come in with a game no matter what. Every day is a Super Bowl to me. Every time the red light comes on, it's the Super Bowl. So for me, it's very important to be mentally, physically, emotionally healthy. It's very important to be prepared. It's very important to have a great attitude when you're in a session, you know, and I've worked with like some guys that are not very nice, and you have to maintain, because I realize your attitude can bring the session down or lift it up. That's simple, you know. So, you know, I realize that I can affect that whole room. I can motivate the room, as Don was said in the book. You see, I've saved sessions for him by just my attitude. You know, one of the bigger things about being a session player, or even, you know, on the road, is it's not about you, man. We all have egos. That's what makes us great. But you got to remember, you're working for somebody. You know, good advice is that the artist that's friendly to you, the person who hires you, they like you, but you guys are not equal. They are hiring you, and they can fire you, and it's their rules. It may not seem fair, but that's the way it is. It's their rules. So when a guy's standing next to you, got his arm around you, taking a picture, and he's your boss, and he's laughing, you all have a good time, you do the wrong thing, that pisses him off, and he can say, you know what, we're not working together anymore. And you're stuck there going like, wait a minute, I don't understand, I thought we were friends. You're friends, but you're not equals. That's a very heavy advice I could give somebody.
That's a great lesson right there, because just like in any other business, they're your boss, right?
They're your boss. They want to get along with you. That doesn't mean that you're equal.